Hello everyone, welcome back to more Hytale Building Tale of Sunsword. It's me here at Heart Archaic Comics. I'm trying to... Let's see, so that's silver, I need gold. I think try and fill this back a bit, because we do actually have quite a lot of area in this direction. So I'm still kind of just doing a lot of landscaping and, you know, doing the general geography of the map. And so I was, last time I was called away, except not really. It was just, oh hey, there's bacon ready if you want to have some. It's like, oh okay. And then so there's definitely a lot of foliage and stuff I'm gonna have to do, but not right away. Oh, well, tight shorts. So yeah, I can't do like all the greenery and foliage right away because of partly because I actually want to wait for update 4 to come out. Where I'm at right now, they just announced it's coming out, 26th of March, which about a few days away. Definitely not long, but not here yet. For you guys, it's absolutely going to be out. But not me just yet. Not me just yet. Go ahead and like shave this off a bit. Bring it back up. So I'm gonna hold off on foliage because they're reworking trees and especially holding off on the trees because those are gonna be reworked. Unlike their aging and everything, more variants. And then there's a bunch of other things that they're wanting to add in as well that would be, generally speaking, quite helpful modding wise. Alright, let's shrink this down again and go back to top. Is that the river brush? No, that's path brush, right. Alright, I do need it to be somewhat close to the house, because there's going to be a tool shed on the hill. I just kind of want to curve it around a bit. And everything. Yeah, I'm just going to focus on setting up the basic landscape for the starting area. I can hardly believe, like, how quickly it's going, honestly. Like, I can, but, like, it's still kind of surreal that I'm, in the span of, like, 2 months, I might actually be able to surpass what I did in the year previously. It's just kind of, yeah, it is a little surreal to me, but at the same time, holy hell, where was this before? Like, this is great. Alright, and then you can go back to center. I mean, I kind of knew these would be great for a while, it's just... Damn. It's so natural to use. If I may be, completely honest. I mean, you know, call me, you know, call me whatever, because like glazing, you know, Hypixel Studios on this, but like genuinely, you know, it was like I forget how long it actually took to do this particular area of the map on the second iteration. Of course, this area of the map did not exist on the first iteration because you started further north with just you know, nothing. It was a dead end before you even reached the river. Half of why I even have the Home of the Hero is kind of like I was actually told that wasn't a thing that actually existed in the other timeline. You know, the guy who was telling me about the castle and how I lived in it and stuff, and telling me about the crystal on the tower before I even got to that part of what I was wanting to show him. So, pardon. Yeah, so Home of the Hero mostly came about because of the Fez campaign I ran with my friends back like 4 years ago. Technically, it was active 3 years ago, but very hard technicality because that's when everyone started like going their separate ways for a while, and the campaign basically died on 23. Yeah, 22 was absolutely the campaign's golden year. And it definitely was formative for like a lot of our stories and stuff, but also had a lot of rough spots that... Anyway, enough of the reminiscing. So let's see, that's that. With some exposed. I'll get back to that. Yeah. Yeah, 2022 was the year. 23. Anyway, so yeah, Fez campaign. One of the locations, because I had actually like a lot of the locations on the Fez campaign that we went to were, well, when they weren't basically ripping off Sonic Unleashed locations, like one for one had like Spagonia. Apatos was our first you know, Fez campaign actual story location, aside from our base of operations. Base of operations was the Red Palace. Not my thing I made, but that was because it was like my own stuff meshed with a bunch of other people, you know, our other stories and stuff. Multiverse hopping campaign. Yeah, had a Tartarus-like area, like percent-free Tartarus kind of area at the bottom of the Red Palace, I think it was. Even with like, you know, shadows and stuff from the free main Persona games. Well, no, it was 3 and 4 specifically for shadows, because Persona 5's shadows are more like SMT demons, but also you're fighting personas. It's a little silly. Anyway. So, kind of later into the into that Fez campaign, and it's, you know, FES acronym probably for, you know, I don't know if Persona 3 FES meant the acronym this way, or if it's meant to be an acronym, but you know, I went with like, you know, this kind of matches the you know, the battle hymn for everyone's souls kind of thing, so I kind of just went with that for what it meant, but very much was Persona 3 inspired at that point. And there's still a lot of like stuff I care about with original and, you know, FES Persona 3, but so yeah, late into the campaign we actually had, well, okay, at points in the campaign we did have some kind of visits to the land of Sockgorm. It wasn't actually until, well, yeah, we did actually have visits to the castle, rarely. But yeah, our first visit, it was I think it was, yeah, opening a door that appeared in the Red Palace, and that door ended up leading to the home of the hero, which was it's basically dislocation. I hadn't fully formed what it looked like or anything, but, you know, had some stuff. I think initially I was like, oh yeah, there's probably gonna be animals there, and maybe I will have animals, but I think for the kind of place it is, animals take a little bit more care than plants do. Plants still take care, but I don't know. For somewhere that's like a home away from home, anything more than just some simple crops is probably asking a bit much. I don't know, could have a servant or someone tend to it. Anyhow, yeah, that's basically where Home of the Hero came from, and I inquired about, you know, what my other timeline home was, and oh, it's the castle. Not any place out in the woods somewhere. But I think this kind of place is still something important to me. I just, you know, it might not be like my main place of residency kind of a thing. I don't know, it may depend on, like, you know, the lifestyle I'm living. But there's something kind of important to me about it. Might remind me of my first home back when I was like really young, before we moved. But anyhow. Anyhow, I'm getting to the point where I can go ahead and... Oh. The map is just lying. Well, okay, maybe not lying. I forgot to sync that down. Shave it again. Alright. Center. Alright. And now I can actually go ahead. I'm going to raise this to about here. Is that too high? Yes. going too fast. Let's see, I don't really need this to be anything super tall. There's still some spots that could use work. Anyhow, the main thing right now is like, yeah, I'm kind of just... Now I'm starting on the elevated areas. That should be harder to reach. I'll definitely be going back through with, you know, more brushwork to sharpen the cliff edges. Maybe. Maybe not, because being able to climb up isn't exactly a bad thing. In fact, it lets you explore more. There will probably be places where I make it harder to actually climb up on anything, but... Yeah. I could actually make this a bit... Nah, keep it to the, multiples of 6. Would be multiples of 3, but again... I mean, multiples of 6 is technically multiples of 3, it's just, you know... The intervals are a little different now. Let's see what I end up actually doing on the map, though, because... Because if, yeah. Okay, so we got windmill, that's gonna be up here. I may even just, like, not care too much about, like, sharp cliffs or anything, because, you know, it may just look better to not do it that way. I don't know. I do want the map to look nice and cool. That much I can be assured of. But I still might, you know, try for smoothing the cliff faces. Especially when I do stuff like this. Okay, not too far that way, because I can't really... Yeah. Depending on how much I actually manage to get done, I may in fact be able to spend time. Ooh, hang on, let's not overcrowd this particular area, because I want to have a bit of a cave entrance here. Okay, alright. Back to quartzite. Alright, here's the fun part, because we're gonna have, something like this going around. And we're gonna have the arrow range here again. Let's see how feasible it is to. Oh, this should be plenty feasible to do wand shooting, because that's like I'm a bit passionate in archery, even if I'm not fully able to practice it. I mean, I have a bow and arrows. It's just I don't have the time to fully commit to it. So the most I really do with it personally is like exercise equipment that emulates it. Okay, I'll have to figure all this out later. I may have to carve more out of the mountains. No worries. Oh yeah, I can also, you know what? I think I do just carve more out of the mountains. Fuck it. I might need to... No, I'm fine. Because this is kind of where it, where you're able to leave. Or, travel in and out of Sockgorm by land, basically. Because again, we are dealing with mountains here. Right, where is it? Alright. Back to top. Why do you behave so? Alright. What? Why are you inconsistent like that? Excuse me! Excuse me! I moved you 1 block! I thought... Oh wait, maybe I didn't. Must have been 2. Anyway. Yeah, back to smoothing all this over. I should actually look up, like, if there's any vegetative preference between, like, I know there's going to be differences on soil type. We're not really changing soil type around here, it's more so the base rock type is changing because 2 mountains are converging. And yes, it would probably affect the soil type, but it's like, you know, not the same as like being in a wet area versus a dry area. It's more, yeah. It's more where, you know, two different mountains are converging and they're like, you know, kind of distinguished by their rock types. And definitely if you go inside the mountains, there's going to be differences, including how it's harder to go inside the Gold Mountain, I think. Just because it's not quite... I don't know. I need to look up how quartzite behaves in terms of terrain. Okay, so... Right, this is where... Yeah. Let me get back down. Oh, right. Back to center. So I keep kind of going like this. It's gonna kind of go off a bit. I'll have to like, yeah, figure out how we handle all this. But basically, like, this is gonna go off to be some area where you can't really explore any further. Okay. And of course we're going to need some calcite in here. Back it up a little. So we only need it to be like, kind of like that. I'm basically trying to like make a big cliff face for like, you know, there's a road leading out and you're not really supposed to follow where it goes because it's, you know, out of the play area. But it's still like, you know, life and stuff. It's just, yeah. And it still wants to look at least somewhat natural. Alright, have flyover. See what's what. Okay. Right. Have to figure out how this smoothing brush works more. Oh, I'm using the wrong rock type. Whoops. Can't do that. Okay. Now I think we can start tackling the higher cliffs. I'm gonna go ahead and have her start over here. Let's see, how high is this? I'm gonna increase it by 3. I guess this would be expected. Let's go ahead and raise it up a little. Or maybe I just take it to about 22. And I go ahead and raise up. I'm not sure it's meant for building quite this tall. Which is a shame because they call it the mountain brush. Yeah, I think I bring this back down to 10. And then just raise it up one more level when I get there. Maybe I do that center? I don't know. I'm still having to make multiple passes, that much I'm noticing. That said, I feel like I'm still going faster than with the previous brushes. Probably because, like, you know, I'm not... Oh, part of it's probably because I'm not locked to, squares and rectangles. Okay, I think with the, grid plane, it has, it's not really telling me properly, like... Let me drag you over here. It's not properly... I think it's got like some micro angles that it's doing for some reason. Kind of nonsensically. Oh, it took you down a level. That's why I'm not getting any more purchase up here. Hmm. I'm not seeing any changes with that. How's about... Oh, right. Okay, so this seems to work better when I don't have the lock on. Got it. Alright, back to this. Alright, back to Silver Mountain. Okay. how are we looking on the map? Getting an interesting topography now. And I think if I go too much higher with the, you know, stuff I'm doing, I'm gonna have to change up the brush a bit so that it's not so grassy. Because when you get to a certain height, yeah, it's kind of hard for vegetation to really stay vegetation, or well, survive. Okay. Let's see. It's looking pretty neat. Okay, so once again back to Gold Mountain, and we're going to actually just a little bit. Let's move this out a little. Okay, let's sink into the ground. Well, I can probably just move this somewhat. I just try and get it, you know, decently shaped. Ooh, I should raise that up. are you doing? Slow down. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and some smoothing here. And let's see, I'm thinking I'm at the point where I want to actually start drawing pathways. So let's see. Might have to clean up this pathway. Quartzite rubble. Huh. Rubble. Because I think for here I want also a mix that includes some calcite. That said, I kind of want reduced density on that. Okay. Of course it does that. Let's drag all that over here. Let's see. Is there something I can use for removing? I guess I can just Gotta be careful with that. Mud. Is that mud? Dry mud, okay. I can accept that, I suppose. Okay, I'm gonna... Okay, this should be okay. Just, I, don't want that much. Nice. Okay, I guess my sword's not able to do that. Oh, is it for adventure mode only? Alright, back to actual pathing. Let's see. I can tone down the density as we go into here. Probably could have just toned it down to begin with. I also could just tone down the width too. And you know what? What the hell? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's the, Why does the mask reset itself? So freaking... Ugh. I'm just gonna... Yeah, just reset it all again. Need to fine-tune everything and... Let's see... I lost my soil path, oh well. Let's see, I need a... Did this change visually? Okay, just water. What's this? Borders. Okay, what I need is to get me one of these. Give me a cylinder, decently wide. And let's see, I want an I want, at the very least, to just kind of get rid of these things. Of course you reset the fucking mask again. That's so awesome. Okay. Oh, that's a dropped item. Alright, so on the path. Give it reduced. Alright. I probably want to have a different one for actual home, now I think about it. Yeah. Let's actually kind of just undo all these. Yeah, there we go. Let me put this back. Yeah, we'll get to the house later. For now, we want to do the more wild areas. Let's see. That's a mountain, right, right. Okay, so we've got pathways kind of just running off around here. Could up the density here a little bit. Stop it! You're not even supposed to be that. Whatever. think I could go away with being 2. There's some space up here. I have a camp there. Now the path here to be especially worn. Because this is like a main road almost. Okay. Oop. Oh, come on. Okay. Go ahead and tone down the width just a little bit. Maybe. Oh well. This is definitely a more heavily traveled road. And it goes off here, and yeah, might have it disappear into a wall or something of like, you know, barrier blocks basically. Let me see if there's like a basic brush I can use for just like. Let's see, This is boulder brushwork. Oh, that's quite big. Moss. I could probably use this to... I'll use that later. Maybe. I'll use a regular paintbrush then. I think the Minecraft World Edit Smooth Brush was a bit more assertive, I think. Actually did more to, you know, smooth things out. I mean, brushes and work kind of probably need... the brushes in general probably need, like, work on them, and... yeah. Maybe a strength slider would be something to look into. Don't know. Oh, wait. That is max strength. Hello? I don't think I like that. It's a very weird slider. Alright, let's see. So I can just turn that to 0. I think. Maybe even turn that down to like basically nothing. And now, because we're getting over here. Okay, so turning it down to 0 is not actually stopping it. Understood. Okay, and it can also just eat the house if it so desires. Understood. Alright, probably turn that up a little. Why? Maybe I need to give it a mask. Oh well. So shed up here. And we'll also have our little... Uh-oh. Forgot about all this. All that out. Alright, and then we can have our little shooting range around here. And we specifically would want to... What we're gonna do, because I can give it, let's see. I want a beam, and I want a wooden beam. Because the idea here is that you are This is for honing like long distance precision. And so the goal, of course, is to not have any arrows, obviously. Yeah, it's not an easy shot. Anyway. Go ahead and basically give us this. I'll make like a proper foundation there. And then from here we've got, let's see, this needs to connect over here. And we've got another thing here where we need to kind of make it. Right, you will want, that's the path. You will want this. Up here we're going to have a windmill. Wrong brush. Alright, now we can connect it this way. I may have made that shelf a bit too big. Let's see. That's that one. We can just go back to using you. Oh yeah, I do actually need a bit more space here for a farm. That's right. Almost forgot about that. Okay. Bring it back to the path. There was maybe a few too many rocks. Alright. Alright, there's still good ways between here and the river. Maybe not that direction. But, alright. I think this will be a good stopping point for today. Thanks for watching. I'll be with you guys next time when we probably get more, might do the river or something, and see you later. Bye.